No, Jin Woo doesn't become an omnipotent god like everyone says. Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm the Monio, the interdimensional demon who talks about solo leveling the most on YouTube, and you're on my channel. In this video, we'll understand how solo leveling ended, why the ending is controversial, we'll understand how time travel works, what changed in the second timeline created by Sung Jin Woo, and how this directly affects the continuation of the work, called Solo Leveling Ragnarok. But let's take it one step at a time. Sung Jin Woo is using the system to level up and become stronger and stronger, and upon reaching level 100 a special quest will be unlocked, and Sung will return to the double dungeon that we saw in the first episode of the anime. There he will meet the entity that calls himself the Architect, who is the one who created and manages the system. This entity reveals that this power that Jin Woo uses actually belongs to a being called Ashborn, that Jin Woo is the human who will serve as his vessel, and that the system was created so that he would gradually get used to Ashborn's power, since his body would not be able to receive all that power at once. The Architect's plan at that moment was to revive Ashborn in the body of Sung Jin Woo, who would have his consciousness completely erased, reborn as Ashborn. The problem is that Ashborn did not want to be revived, so when the Architect tries to awaken Ashborn's consciousness, Ashborn refuses to take over Jin Woo's body, and it is revealed that Ashborn chose Jin Woo, but not to be his new host, but to be his successor and inherit his power. So Ashborn passes control of the system to Jin Woo, so that the Architect could no longer control him. Jin Woo then discovers that Ashborn is the Shadow Monarch, but that there are a total of 9 monarchs, absurdly powerful beings that inhabit another dimension, which is related to the origin of the universe. These monarchs are interested in conquering our world, and Ashborn was one of the main enemies of these beings and one of the main reasons these monarchs did not take our world for themselves. In addition to Ashborn, there is another class of equally powerful beings called rulers, who have this angelic appearance and are enemies of the monarchs. The rulers are always trying to protect humanity, but they do not usually leave their dimension and interfere directly, so they chose some humans to lend part of their power. They were also responsible for creating the portals and awakening the magical power in humans, so that humanity could defend itself and survive a possible invasion by the monarchs. Upon discovering that a human inherited Ashborn's power, the other 8 monarchs try to take the opportunity to kill the one who inherited the power of their former enemy, and try to kill Jin Woo, before he has access to Ashborn's full power, and with great difficulty, Jin Woo faces these beings. Jin Woo defeats most of the monarchs who tried to kill him, but Antares, the monarch of destruction, who is the strongest of all, attacks our world with his army of dragons. Jin Woo faces him in a fierce battle, but cannot win, as Antares has overwhelming power. However, the battle between the two was so intense and released so much energy that it weakened the dimensional walls of our world, and this allows the rulers to go to our dimension in their physical forms. The rulers save Jin Woo and kill Antares, piercing him with their spears and ending the war. Jin Woo then makes a request to the rulers. He explains that despite having won, many innocent people and friends died during the battle, and that he would like to save these people, so he asks to use the Cup of Reincarnation, which is an ancient and powerful magical artifact that the rulers have, which belonged to the ancient god who created this universe, and which has the power to go back in time. Jin Woo asks to go back in time, and asks that the rulers no longer create portals or awaken powers in humans, as he would like to face all the monarchs alone in their dimension. The rulers explain that they have gone back in time before and humanity is always destroyed, and that was the best outcome they had, and that if Jin Woo goes back in time, there is no guarantee that things will be better. Besides, all the monarchs he worked so hard to defeat will revive, and because they are superior beings they will retain the memories of their past lives, and even if he defeats them all, humans will not know anything and Jin Woo will not be remembered or recognized by them as the hero who saved the world. Jin Woo agrees and accepts the consequences, but asks them to use the Cup of Reincarnation. The rulers wish him good luck and use their power to go back in time. Another timeline is created, in which humans have never had contact with magic or portals. Jin Woo spent years away from his family, growing stronger in defeating the monarchs, including Antares, who was the last of them and the hardest to defeat. With all the monarchs destroyed, the rulers thank Jin Woo for all his efforts and say that now that he has saved the world, he can enjoy his life and the peace he has brought to the world. Jin Woo then meets Cha Han, and just like in the old timeline, the two fall in love, but now with no threat to the world, they can finally be together. The two get married and have a son, named Sung Suho. And this son of the two will be the protagonist of Solo Leveling Ragnarok, the official sequel to Solo Leveling. In Solo Leveling Ragnarok, many years pass after the events of the new Solo Leveling timeline, and gods from other universes plan to invade our world. Since the original god who created our world is currently dead, Sung Jin Woo traveled to other dimensions to face these beings and protect the world. And meanwhile the rulers once again created portals and awakened magical power in humans so that they are able to defend themselves from these threats. So in this world the portals, the hunters and their respective rankings have existed for a few years now. Jin Woo had sealed his son's powers and memories, but with the current situation of the attack of the gods, and knowing that servants of these gods have managed to infiltrate the earth, Jin Woo asks Baru to go and break the seal he placed on his son, so that he can recover his memories and his power, and thus be able to help defend this world from intruders. And thus begins the story of Solo Leveling Ragnarok, with Sung Soo awakening his powers and memories, and using the system to gradually become stronger, just like his father, while investigating and facing enemies that threaten the planet with the help of Baru and other allies. Solo Leveling Ragnarok is currently being released and the story is very interesting, with great mysteries to be revealed, nostalgic appearances of old characters, as well as a great participation of Baru, who is funnier and more charismatic than ever. If you want to know more about the monarchs and the rulers, their origin, the origin of Ashbourne, why these beings are at war, who the architect was, and why the original god of the universe died, watch my video about the mythology of Solo Leveling. There I explain everything about these beings, and everything that happened before the events we saw in the first episode of the anime. The video will be on the final screen. But what about you? Did you already know the whole story of the ending of Solo Leveling? Leave it in the comments, and if you liked the video, subscribe to follow the next content. Until next time my people, demonic hugs.